Tonight, your bed is gone. Not uncomfortable gone. Gone. You are on cold ground, wind is sliding under your ribs, and the fire is smaller than your fear. You can be brave for 10 seconds. Cold does not care. It keeps taking heat after bravery gets boring. That is the real problem before beds, houses, thermostats, weather apps, and polite blankets. An ancient cold night was not just bad weather. It was a slow technical attack on the body. So the question is not, were early humans tough? The question is, how did they stop the night from stealing them 1 degree at a time? The lazy answer is, ancient people were just tougher. They probably were tougher than most of us, but toughness is not insulation. A body loses heat through air, wind, wet skin, cold ground, and time. If you solve only one of those, the others keep working. So survival was not one trick. It was a stack. Choose the right place. Block the wind. Stay dry. Manage fire. Keep the ground from drinking your heat. Cover the body. Sleep close enough for the group to matter. And know when a place is too stupid to spend the night in. That stack is the episode. Not one heroic caveman. Small advantages layered until morning becomes possible. The first shelter was not always a cave. And not every cave was useful. A deep cave can be damp, smoky, occupied, hard to leave, or pointed at the wrong wind. Sometimes the best shelter is a rock overhang. Sometimes it is brush. Sometimes it is a snow wall, a windbreak, a low spot, a high spot, or simply 10 meters away from the place that feels comfortable at sunset, but turns cruel after midnight. Sleep in the bottom of a valley where cold air pools, and the ground can become a bowl of invisible trouble. That is the part modern life hides from us. We think of shelter as an object, a room, a tent, a building. But before that, shelter was a decision. Where does the wind hit? Where does water run? Where will smoke go? Where will children roll? Where can fuel be reached without walking into the dark? The night begins before sunset, because a bad camp is already attacking you before you lie down. Fire helps, obviously. But fire is not central heating with dramatic lighting. It needs fuel. It makes smoke. It can burn the sleeping place. It can die when the one person awake is tired, sick, or just done with being responsible. Imagine digging up an old hearth. You find ash, burned stone, and traces of repeated activity around fire. You do not find a perfect bedtime manual. So use the safe claim. Fire was often a focus of human activity, and it could provide heat, light, cooking, protection, and workspace. But heat is not enough if the wind carries it away. The clever move is not just making heat. It is trapping, aiming, sharing, and timing it. A fire in the wrong place is a bright waste of wood. A fire in the right place becomes part of the architecture. Now meet the quiet enemy, the ground. Cold ground does not need teeth. It just waits under you. If you lie directly on it, your body becomes the warm side of a bad deal. That is why bedding matters, not luxury bedding, survival bedding. At Border Cave in South Africa, researchers reported very old grass bedding connected with ash and fire use, around 200,000 years ago. Do not picture a mattress showroom. Picture dry plant material, ash layers, maybe hides, maybe repeated cleaning and rebuilding. The key idea is simple enough to feel in your bones. Put something between warm body and cold earth. A thin layer can decide whether the ground steals heat quickly or slowly. And when the night is long, slowly matters. Then comes the body itself. Hides, skins, furs, wraps, cords, and later more fitted clothing all belong to a bigger idea. Carry a small climate on your skin. We must be careful here because soft materials rarely survive. The archaeological record gives clues around clothing more often than clothing itself. Hide-working tools, bone awls, needles, wear marks, and later sewn technologies. But the survival logic is hard to escape. Bare skin is a terrible wall. Animal skin can become a barrier. Fur traps air. Wrap material blocks wind. Fitted material moves with the body. And a person who can carry warmth can walk into a place their bare body should not be able to own. That is not fashion yet. That is portable weather control. The last layer is less cinematic and more important. People. A cold night is not solved by one heroic sleeper. It is solved by a camp. One person feeds the fire. One person wakes early. One child kicks off a covering. One older person needs the warmer spot. Someone hears wind change. Someone notices smoke going wrong. Someone has enough energy to fix a problem before the problem becomes the morning's first tragedy. Sleeping close also changes heat, awareness, and risk. The heat of a neighbor's back against your shoulder is not romance. It is physics with a heartbeat. Not every group did the same thing, and not every night was an emergency. But the principle is strong. The body was not alone against the cold. The social system was part of the insulation. Prehistory was not only tools in hands. It was bodies arranged so the weak moments did not kill everyone separately. So how did people sleep without freezing? They did not beat cold. They negotiated with it, place by place, layer by layer. Fire, windbreak, dry ground, bedding, skins, group heat, wakefulness, memory. The genius is not one invention called a bed. The genius is realizing that a night can be engineered before engineering has a name. Modern comfort makes cold feel like a problem for buttons. Turn up the heat. Add a blanket. Close the window. But before buttons, every morning was evidence that the system worked. Not perfectly, not everywhere, not for everyone, but often enough that humans could carry fragile bodies through a planet that was never trying to be kind. You turn up the thermostat. They turned up their survival.